Well, welcome to San Diego. Rolled in yesterday for the Belgian Waffle ride San Diego. As you can see, it's not your typical California weather. I'm in a puffer. It's chilly out here, but hey, it's been cold in Utah, so not too upset that it's not going to be super warm on race day. Got up this morning, had some nice breakfast, went out and did a preview of the first, I'd say like 15 miles of the course. And it's a good start for me. I like it. I didn't ride the first little 3-mile loop, but that'll be that kind of start for fighting for position. And then it's a nice 1-mile climb, which suits me really well, into the first downhill, which leads right into the first gravel section. And there's a little barrier you got to hop across for that. So it's going to pinch point down one rider at a time, or maybe 2 at a time can get over that little barrier. Then after that, rolls along for a little bit and goes into the first proper kind of mountain bike trail by a lake around maybe mile 15 or so. That's where the second fight for position will be. But gladly it'll be a little bit thinned out versus I think years in the past it used to be pretty mad dash to a certain section. Anyways, I brought my new gravel rig down, the Trek Checkpoint SLR 9. So I'm running the SRAM Red E-Tap axis with the 48-35 up front, 10 to 36 in the back. Got all the range I need there, up and down. So I think this is the perfect setup for this race, honestly. This is a lot closer to a road race, so having the extra range, gears closer together, is going to be pretty sweet. Got the new Wahoo Roam, so excited about that. It's got a little bit nicer color. Just opened that up the other day. And then, of course, what tires am I running? Well, I've got the Vittoria Torino Dries on today in a size 700 by 35, also with the Vittoria inserts in there, the foam. And I'll probably run them around 40 to 45 PSI. Rest of the plans, tomorrow is Saturday, the day before the race. We're going to do a little more pre-riding. And then race day kicks off as usual at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning.
What are you most excited for in this race?
That's Roxy you're listening to. She's got her dog. She's going to protect us over here. This is the OG BWR, the one that was started all the things, one of the first gravel races in the country, and I've done many BWRs before, but never this one. Each race actually of the BWR series is very different one to the next. This one is more unique in the fact that it's got a lot more road in it, and being that I used to race on the road a lot, like I'm kind of excited for that part. But yeah, most excited just to, you know, try out this race, I guess, to partake in. All right, hello everybody. It's day 2 of reconning. Kind of picking off where I left yesterday. I did the start and end of the race yesterday, so I'm doing some of the middle sections today. A bit nicer today, sunny out here. So just an hour and a half ride today. 20-minute tempo effort. I always like to open the legs up day before. So I usually take my easier day 2 days before. And yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm gonna keep on trucking on this single track. Catch you in a bit. Hey there! We are a little further along in the Ruhvogel-Beckham section. Just got done with the Beckham climb, single track with grades of 20% up, and then single track down. Nothing too crazy technical, nothing I had to get off to walk or anything like that, so it's definitely manageable. Still really liking the bike setup. It's a little bit bumpier than I was expecting in a few spots, so I might lower the tire pressure just a little bit. You know, coming into this race, I was sick for a couple of weeks, and I'm finally just coming around in the last week or so, which is exciting. Missed a little bit of training, but I had a really good block right after Arizona, And hopefully when I was sick, I was able to just kind of absorb that in. And now I should be firing pretty good tomorrow. I feel great. Weather's beautiful today. Brought the wife and a couple friends with to this race. I mean, coming all the way to California, you gotta hope for some sunshine, some nice weather. So we got that going on. Race day should be about the same as today, maybe just a touch warmer, which I'm pretty happy about, around that 70 degrees. So I've had zero riding in the heat this year. It's just been cold. So each bottle is gonna get 2 scoops of First Endurance.
Oh, 8 bottles?
5 handoffs, so 7 bottles we'll need.
I'm getting all of Joe's bottles ready, all 7 of them. For handoffs tomorrow, all of them are gonna have First Endurance in them. Joe, do you know which way the beach is?
You can find it right between Out of the Woods and the Enchanted Forest.
Good morning. It's race day. Eggs, banana, apple, and that's breakfast.
Can you cut it? Zip ties? Or zip tie? We do have electrical tape, so we could.
Just use
I
that.
might have you tape some to the bottles. Not the first one, but for like the second to last and last bottle, maybe. Tape one of these to the bottle. Alrighty.
Let's go. It's 5:50.
Put your loving hands out, baby. I'm begging. Begging you. Put your loving hands out, baby. Begging you. Put your loving hands out, darling. Right now, when I was king, played it hard and fast 'cause I had everything. Walked away, wondering, but easy come and easy go when it went. So every time I need you, let me go. Every time I beat you, get me low. Every time I seek you, let me.
All right, we are 10 minutes into this race, just hitting the first climb at mile 4. This climb is 1.7 miles long and climbs up 628 feet. For me, this took me about 7 minutes and 28 seconds at 460 watts. So for me, this is about 5.9 watts per kilo.
Put your loving hand out, darling. I need you to understand. Try so hard to be your man. Not a man you want in the end. You ain't not thinking to live again. An empty shell I used to be. Shadow of my life was hanging over me. A broken man that I don't know. Won't even stand the devil's chance to win my soul. Why we chewing? Why we chasing? Why the bottom? Why the basement? Why we got good shit, don't embrace it? Why the feel for the need to replace me? You're on the wrong way, track from the good. I only painted a picture, tell it where we could be at. Like the heart in a dash where it should. You done gave it away, you had it till you took it back. But I keep walking on, keep open doors, keep open forward. That the call is yours, keep those on
are now 14 miles into this race, and I'm taking a nice breath of fresh air as we just sit up for a bit. Made it through that first downhill all right. I didn't think it was going to be too crazy or anything, just trying to avoid flats, which I was able to do. It was nice and wide open, nothing technical other than the hopping over the barriers, but managed that well. Came out on the road with a pretty strong group with Alexi, Griffin, Pete, Ivar, and a bunch of other guys. There were a few people up the road in that first little road section, but we rotated pretty well and were able to catch them, and now we're just taking a chance to grab a bite to eat. The next real test doesn't come till about mile 21, where we start up a small climb that leads into the first major single track area. There's a couple little rollers, but nothing significant here, so just gotta watch out for people attacking, ride the wheels, try and save as much energy going into that next deciding section as I can. We are in it, the first single track section of this race. I will say I was a little bit frustrated inside of here. I knew it would be a good fight going up the hill into this, but I didn't realize how much of a fight it would be inside the single track at the start. And it's probably just due to my inexperience in bigger mountain bike races. I imagine this is how it goes in those. But anyways, I kind of muscled up and held my ground best I could, but I did get a few passes made on me. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, but held my ground pretty good, and then we got kind of settled in here. This is why it's important to get in that single track pretty far up there, because it just takes one rider who doesn't necessarily have the skills to go super quick to hold everything up, and we had been going a little bit slower than I would have liked. This was what was holding everything up. Managed to get around him, but then it was all strung out a little bit from there. And for me, this is where the race started to get a little bit harder as gaps had opened up, and we had to try and close them down to catch back up with leaders. This is the spot right here that broke me, trying to follow Adam back up the lead group. The last 7.5 minutes were spent at a normalized power of 377. The last 3.5 at normalized 400, trying to stay on his wheel. We came so close, I could see the group ahead of me, but I just couldn't hang on to the wheel and had to settle in. From here, I linked up with Sir Nicholas Roach and Ethan, and we spent a good amount of time trying to chase back. I'm not sure where it happened, but Russell must have had a mechanical, because he went flying by us on the super steep hill section. and he was able to obviously catch the lead group as he won the race.
Aid station number 3, mile 41. Waiting for Joe to come through. Hoping he's still in that lead pack. It's probably a little more split up. Now after some of that single track, we're excited to see where he's at. Joe! Hi, it's Kendra, Ashley, and Merritt. Joe's and the dogs. Support crew today at Belgian Waffle in San Diego, San Marcos, and they're about 2 minutes back from the lead group.
My heart somewhere, I wanna go there. Still I don't go there. Everybody says say something, say something, say something, say something, say something, say something. I don't wanna get caught up in the rhythm of it.
Well, I stayed with Mr. Roach and Ethan for as long as I could, but the wheels are really starting to fall off right here, right now. The stomach's kind of turning south as we head up this first part of this major climb. As you'll see, it took me 24 minutes to get up this hill. Normalized power 348, but the average was only 331, which is typically pretty easy for me to do, so you can tell I am hurting here.
Something I can't hide. Everyone knows all about my transgression. Still in my heart somewhere.
I get caught by Stefano and Freddie at the top of this climb. I try and hang with them for a little bit, trade a couple holes. However, I just don't have anything left in the tank, and I'm not able to stay with them.
Everybody says say something, say something, say something, say something, say something, say something. I don't wanna get caught up in the rhythm of it, but I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no. Caught up in the middle of it. No, I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no, no. Caught up in the rhythm of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. Something I can't have. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't.
Heading down Black Canyon, I get passed by Lance and Drew. I'd say this is probably my lowest point of the race. I am really hurting here. I've been having issues with my back cramping up in the last couple races, and it is just killing me on this downhill. They come around me and I try and stick with them for a little bit, but just too sore to keep pushing on the pedals. It really flares up for me on the downhills. I've since been doing a lot of physical therapy, stretching, and have switched to shorter cranks and have been feeling a lot better. Fingers crossed, my next race I won't be dealing with this. At the bottom of the canyon, I do end up getting a flat tire. It only took me a minute and a half on the bike, so it wasn't too big a deal. So this big climb was split into 2 different chunks by that Black Canyon descent. The first one took me 15 minutes and 40 seconds with an average power of 309. And the second chunk took me 16 minutes with an average of 315. So again, the power is continuing to drop, and I am just really struggling here. At the top of this climb, I do get joined by Harrison, and we spend some time together on the downhill through the aid station and then on the flat. The moto comes up to us and lets us know that there is a strong group containing Lawrence Den Dam chasing us. We look back, they're not too far out, so we sit up and grab a little snack and then hop on that train as soon as it comes. At this point, my back is starting to feel a bit better. The stomach is starting to come around a little bit. I had a little bit of struggle as we head up a little hill before the next major downhill on this course. But once we got onto that, we just started ripping. This group was full of a couple really good guys on the road, and it definitely showed as we descended back down towards the finish. Yeah, this was, for me, probably my favorite part of the race. It wasn't too hard on the downhill, and just getting to rip the corners. Super smooth pavement, absolute blast at the time.
Now we're stuck in the storm. We were born to ignore, and all I got is a chance to just say, "Baby, love, you got me with. You steal the air out of my lungs, you make me feel it. I pray for everything we lost, but back the secrets. Your head forever's all I want. Don't take the money, don't take the money." I slept all night on those nights. I'm still in my parents' house, and I cut off my t-shirt sleeves and claim a new continent. Till I saw your face and hands covered in sun, and then I think I understand. Well, I understand. But we fight, stay up late in my dreams on the blade, different sides of the bed. Roll your eyes, shake my head. Now we're stuck in the storm. We were born to ignore, and all I got is a chance to just say, "Baby, love, you got me with. You steal the air out of my lungs, you make me feel it. I pray for everything we lost, fight back the secrets. Your head forever's all I want. Don't take the money, don't take the money."
We are currently on a small stretch single track, about 4 miles long, that I did not pre-ride. I had been pre-riding most of the single track in the days leading up to it, but I felt that it all looked similar and didn't need to ride this. That would be to my demise, as it was muddy with mandatory dismounts and I could not get clipped in. So right here I'm actually riding with just one foot clipped, and the one is just bouncing around on my pedal. I'm on speed plays, so they are not the best for getting in. Right here on the bridge or the side of the road, I finally get it clipped back in and I'm able to continue on. Catch back up to Corey from Raleigh, and we cruise for a while on the last of the single track before heading up Double Peak.
Don't take the money.
I'm now at the base of the final climb. I just about eat it here as I struggle to get out of my pedals, being stuck in them with the mud. This is the same dirt section we came down. We are now heading back up that little downhill, and then we link up into Double Peak. In total, this last climb took me about 26.5 minutes with the normalized power 312, average 304. This is at the very end of the race, mile 115 at the base. And yeah, it's just all the gas I had left in my tank. I did manage to pick off a few people from my group that I'd lost after I couldn't get back to my pedals. Battled with Harrison a little bit on actual Double Peak proper.
So let's let things come out of the woodwork. I give you my best life, tell you all my best lies. See me rolling, showing someone else love, dancing with our shoes off. No, I think you're awesome, right? Our rules, our dreams, we're blind. Blowing shit up with homie. Dynamite, our friends, our drinks, we get inspired. Blowing shit up with homie.
I wanna feel the rage, pushing all limits, I'm buckled for the ride. We're way too far from home, let's be honest with ourselves. We're way too high to try. So let's take on the night. If a lot is in the air, open, finally, we're going and we'll fade
not my day. I crashed, I flatted, and I felt horrible in the middle of the race. Like,
Your dog wants to see you so bad. She's shaking.
hey, little one! Oh yes, kisses, kisses, kisses. Oh, that race wrecked me. I had like a second wind at the end there.
Yeah.
But man, like, just like after you guys saw me, I was like kind of starting to feel not the greatest.
Yeah.
And then we tried to like, I was with that Nicholas Roach guy, and he's like done Tour de France and stuff. So he's like, let's catch him. And I'm like, I'll try. So we like rotate some turns, and then we hit the hill. And I was with them like right when you guys passed me, when I started falling off. And then just went into a very dark place. And then after the second aid station, my stomach just went south and I like couldn't eat. The only thing I could take down were those gels, which thankfully I had a lot of those. Like the waffle was not going down. After the second to last aid station, we went through the swamp and there were rockies I tried to get off, and then this just filled with mud. Me and another guy had the same pedals and we were just like struggling. And then they just like, you can't get out of them. So I was coming around the corner and I lost the rear and I tried to flip out and I couldn't flip out and I just went like down. Bent this in a little bit. That's fine though. Holy shit, double peak.
Yeah.
Like, it was steep. Sorry guys, not where we wanted to be. I think I was 25th.
Still did good.
Yeah. And I mean, I was like blowing snot like the whole time too. They're like filled up. Yeah.
Gross.
I just not quite done with the sickness yet. So. Here? Here. Boy, I'm glad that one's done.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
Exactly to deal with that is even more impressive. So good job, Corey Greenberg.